What's going on, IE Sports Radio fans? It's your boy, the SoCal Saint, back at it again with another new edition of the IE Elite Wrestling Show. This is your direct feed for all that is professional wrestling on the only network that is your direct feed for all that is sports, IE Sports Radio. Please do not forget to give us a shout out on X, or do we even still call it Twitter? I'm not really sure. Follow us on the X at IE Sports Radio. Follow our show, the IE Elite Wrestling Show, at IE Elite Pod on X. You can also check out our website, iesportsradio.com. And if you want to show some love, throw some shekels our way. Give us some likes on all of our downloaded platforms. If you're not listening currently live on the Spreaker app, if you listen later on the download, please give us a like, a shout out, anything. We love it to show your support for the show and for IE Sports Radio. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, any of those platforms. If you're listening on YouTube, please give us a like, subscribe to the IE Sports Radio channel, where it's every show on the IE Sports Radio network gets put on there after it is aired live. So if you miss the live viewing, you can always check it out on YouTube immediately after. I think that's the great thing about that platform, especially the way we have it set up. So if you happen to miss the live broadcast, you can just catch it right away on YouTube right after that. And like I stated, if you want to show some shekels our way, please check out the iesportsradio.com shop, where you could get t-shirts, hats, jackets, hoodies, tank tops, and what is available, because I know we sell out pretty quickly. But if you want to show some love and support, get yourself some IE Sports Radio gear. And also, if you want to show some love to our sponsor, our awesome sponsor for the last few weeks here, that is Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, a single A affiliate of Major League Baseball's San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, maintains and contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, low in sugar, and high in protein. This is some of the best jerky you can get your hands on. Once again, huge shout out to our sponsor, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. Ooh, yeah! Alright, guys, so we're back live. I do apologize. Had some unfortunate technical difficulties I was dealing with yesterday. That's why I didn't even bother putting out that the show was coming on, because I didn't want to promise something that wasn't going to happen. I was dealing with it from early morning, and trust me, when you have your internet down and you got a son who communicates with a tablet that requires Wi-Fi, that it was a bit of a struggle yesterday morning, but God willing, we got everything worked out. Now we're back on the air, obviously, since I'm talking to you now live. So thank you to everyone that is tuning in live. I know it was very short, very, very short notice. So if anyone is listening live, I do appreciate it. If not, it's cool. Just give me some love, show me some love, and give me a like and a subscribe later on if you're listening later on the downloads. So this past Saturday evening, August 5th, we had SummerSlam, the big SummerSlam event, and I know my previous show was about the preview for SummerSlam, so let's just jump right into the results of that show. SummerSlam came to you live this past Saturday night at Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan. Ford Field, the home of the Detroit Lions, and this was the first big premium live event that WWE has placed at Ford Field since WrestleMania 23 in April of 2007. So it's been quite some time since the WWE has had an event of this magnitude in the Motor City. And I thought it was a decent event. I thought they had a lot of good matches on the show. It definitely set some records. It was the highest grossing event outside of WrestleMania. WWE revealed this past weekend after the show was after it was all said and done, after the smoke had cleared. It is the highest grossing SummerSlam event of all time. As like I stated, it is the highest grossing event outside of WrestleMania. WWE reported an attendance of 59,194 fans in attendance. This number has been disputed, but with what they claimed is the actual attendance is 51,477. But I mean, either way, I mean, like, can you really sneeze at either one of those numbers? It's huge fucking numbers, regardless. It also gives this is also the second largest crowd in SummerSlam history after the 1992 event, which took place at Wembley Stadium. More on that later, of course, with AEW going to be heading there at the end of this month on August 27th for their All In London event, running their first ever stadium show. That event for the WWE purported an attendance of 80,355. Also, they had the highest numbers of merchandise sales ever outside of a WrestleMania at this event in SummerSlam. So SummerSlam brought in definitely a lot of revenue for the company, a lot of big numbers. So congrats to the WWE on breaking more records like they seem to constantly do. So the show started out really hot. I want to say they did the right thing by kicking off with Logan Paul going one-on-one with Ricochet, and in a surprising move, which I almost was not expecting it, Logan Paul defeated Ricochet after hitting Ricochet, boom, right with a right hand that was accompanied with a set of brass knuckles that the referee did not see, almost like a William Regal power of the punch type of style. If you watched WWE in the Attitude Era in the later years, you know William Regal, that was one of his finishing moves, quote unquote, where he would have a pair of brass knuckles in his trunks, pull it out, and boom, knock his opponent right in the face with them, and he called that the power of the punch. Very reminiscent of that. Logan Paul already has him infused into that right hand of his from his boxing matches that he's had over the last few years. So, just to add on top of that titanium, a set of brass knuckles, him and Ricochet had a very awesome, very well thought out, high flying match. It wasn't too crazy, which is what I actually liked. I was thinking that this match was going to be just a spot fest, just flips and all sorts of crazy shit. That's what I thought. It was just going to be nothing but spot. But they actually told a very good story. Ricochet really held his own against Logan Paul. There were a couple of spots where you see Logan Paul still is very green, but it's very minor, because Logan Paul is, man, like, this is only his 10th match in the company since he joined the company, and I just gotta give him props. Like, it's time to stop harping on Logan Paul as an individual, I guess, and just look at his athletic ability, and that's what I'm doing. Logan Paul, definitely not one of my most favorite people in the world. I've been vocal about that, but God, that guy is talented. I can't take anything away from his athletic ability. His athletic ability has been second to none. He has taken to the wrestling business like a fish to water, or like a bird to air, if those analogies make sense. You know what I mean? Or like a bird to flight. You know what I mean? Whatever. But, I mean, you get what I'm trying to say. Like, it's like it comes second nature to him. And he has been very, very, just, every time he steps in the ring, he impresses me just a little bit more. Ever since that very first match at WrestleMania, him and The Miz against the Mysterios, Dominic and Rey. Man, it's just, I haven't seen anyone take to this business quite as much, like, celebrity-wise, like him. I don't think I've ever seen a celebrity take to this business like him. I mean, I feel like WWE should definitely utilize him more. I mean, I say pay him what he's worth, and add a few more dates to that contract. I don't know how long his contract extension is, but hopefully he's here for a little while. I feel like he is definitely a benefit to the company instead of a detriment. And he puts eyes on the business. It gets eyes on his brand, his prime drink and anything else he's doing. And his match went on first because he ended up flying out of Detroit here to my backyard of Dallas, Texas, to the American Airlines Arena, so that he could walk his brother, Jake Paul, to the ring for Jake Paul's fight later that night. Because, of course, if you're a boxing fan, Jake Paul went one-on-one with MMA legend Nate Diaz here in Dallas, Texas. Jake Paul won under unanimous decision against Nate Diaz after the 10th round. Man, so it was a good night for the Paulers. Logan Paul gets a victory over Ricochet. Jake Paul defeats MMA legend Nate Diaz. The Paul brothers victorious Saturday night, August 5th. Next match on the card, it was the rubber match. The rubber match for Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar. The first contest took place at Backlash in Puerto Rico right after WrestleMania, and Cody got the victory of that match. The next contest between the two of them took place in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, at Night of Champions. And Brock Lesnar defeated Cody, but it was more like Cody just passed out. He did not tap out from the Kimura lock that Brock Lesnar had on his broken arm. Cody passed out from the pain, so that was something he held over Brock's hand, Brock's head. Like, you didn't make me tap. We got to go again. And, he called him out, and Brock finally caved in. And this issue between him and Cody, whatever the issue was, because they never really explained it. I think this match right here at SummerSlam was the best out of the three matches. This was the best out of the three matches. It told a very wonderful story. Brock was basically decimating Cody, just throwing him around like a rag doll. I was listening to Wrestling Soup the other day for their SummerSlam post show, and Anthony Missionary Thomas, shout out to Mish and Joey Numbers and John Draper, the Wrestling Soup crew. I love you guys. Just want to show some love. You're one of the reasons why I'm doing this now, because I was a big fan. I am a big fan of your wrestling podcast, and I just wanted to do the same thing. It definitely inspired me, but just wanted to give that shout out to Wrestling Soup. Anyway, Anthony Missionary Thomas pointed out that he felt like this match was going the same way that Brock's 2014 SummerSlam match went with John Cena, where we got the birth of Suplex City, and Cena was just being ragdolled all around the ring. He got German suplex like 18 times. I think it was some crazy number. It hit the double digits how many German suplexes Cena took that night. And Cody was it seemed like he was on the verge of suffering the same defeat, just a merciless beatdown, and somehow the American Nightmare pulled through after striking Lesnar with a set of steel stairs that you walk up into the ring. And it took three in a row, three crossroads, much like what would have happened at WrestleMania had Solo Sikoa not interfered at the end of WrestleMania in that match against Roman. It was the same spot, but Cody actually hit the third and final crossroads. 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes defeats Brock Lesnar clean in the middle of the ring at SummerSlam. The crowd goes fucking nuts. And then a very awesome thing happened after the match. Brock stood up, looked at Cody, gave him a shake of the hand, and then he embraced him, which is very odd. I mean, you could even see it on Cody's face. I don't know if that was just acting or what, but Cody had a very genuine reaction of like, what the fuck is going on here? And then Brock lifted up Cody's arm, signaling to the crowd, this is the guy, giving him his endorsement, his praise, his respect. And then after that, he shook his hand again, pointed at Cody, and then let Cody have his moment in the sun in the middle of the ring as Rock walked down the aisle. Later, during the SummerSlam post-show press conference that WWE put on, Triple H stated that was not a planned spot, that Brock did that all on his own. And I have to say I believe that because, I mean, it's Brock Lesnar. He pretty much has freedom. He pretty much has creative freedom, if not just freedom in general, in the WWE. I mean, who's going to tell Brock Lesnar what to do besides, like, who's going over and who isn't? You know what I mean? Like, Brock chooses what he wants to do post-match, pre-match. Even Cody, whenever he was interviewed at the post-conference, he thought that he was about to get suplexed right after that hug. And so he was not expecting that. So it was a very, very genuine show of respect from Brock Lesnar to Cody Rhodes. And, man, Cody Rhodes is so fucking over. Now, I mean, he's staying over. that I feel like he is the main event of Raw. You know, I mean, you got Seth Rollins, who's your World Heavyweight Champion, but I feel like, it's almost unfortunate to say, Cody is just right above Seth. Even though Seth's the champion, Cody is the show on that Raw brand. Next match on the card was a 25-man Slim Jim SummerSlam Battle Royal. Yeah, that's right. The SummerSlam Battle Royal was sponsored by Slim Jim. I'm trying to see if I can find all the participants in the match. Here we go. All the participants in the match included Apollo Crews, JD McDonough, Rick Boogs, Otis, Ivar and Eric, the Viking Raiders, Shinsuke Nakamura, Tommaso Ciampa, Cameron Grimes, Austin Theory, United States Champion, Santos Escobar of the LWO, Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser Imperium, Ridge Holland, Butch, and Sheamus of the Brawling Brutes, Matt Riddle, Omos, The Miz, Grayson Waller, Karrion Kross, Chad Gable, Bronson Reed, AJ Styles, and of course, LA Knight. Yeah! Let me talk to you for a minute. LA Knight was the winner of the 25-man Slim Jim SummerSlam Battle Royal, last eliminating Sheamus, and that pop, man, that huge pop from that big Ford Field crowd, just an awesome thing to see. LA Knight is undeniable. LA Knight for the last month has been the number 1, the number 3, the number 4, and the number 5 best-selling t-shirt on WWEshop.com. He's breaking record-selling numbers. This guy is fucking over. There's critics of him out there saying he's basically pretending to be The Rock, like he's basically stealing The Rock's mojo. I don't believe that. LA Knight has been doing this kind of shtick since back in his Impact Wrestling days. This has been him when he was Eli Drake, all the way up until when he returned to the WWE and NXT as LA Knight. And it's finally clicking with the crowd. The crowd loves him. He's just so damn charismatic. He's great in the ring. Yes, he may be a little bit older than some of the younger talent that they have on the roster, but when has that stopped anyone? Batista won his first World Heavyweight Championship in his late 30s. I think I'm the same age as Batista was when he first won his world title back in 2005. I'm 36. LA Knight, I believe, is 37 or 38. I think he's just shy of 40, if not 40 years old. That is the prime of your career there. I mean, hell, DDP didn't win his first World Heavyweight title until he was 40. DDP didn't start wrestling until he was like 35, 34. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to go by your age to start a career in this business. And if you are talented, you're going to, like Macho Man Randy Savage, the late great Macho Man said, the cream rises to the top, yeah. And LA Knight is that cream that is rising to the top. LA Knight is just completely over right now. He is doing his damnedest to be just this new over sensation here in the company. It's only a matter of time that he will be a champion in the company. I almost feel like they should transfer him he should be traded from SmackDown to Raw, especially after he had that segment with Miz on Monday Night Raw after SummerSlam. It was a great segment, great promo. Miz and LA Knight together, I mean, that was like microphone gold right there. The two of them going back and forth. They had a really good back and forth between the two of them. Miz gets dropped by LA Knight, and LA Knight is just still over. As soon as I get paid next week, I'm definitely buying an LA Knight shirt. Yeah! Next match on the card was definitely the sour note of the night. It was definitely the dog shit. And I am not understating that. This was the dog shit match of the night. This was the piss break. This was the fucking worst match of the night. I am not hiding my discontent for this match at all. It was the MMA rules match between Shayna Baszler and Rowdy Ronda Rousey. What a fucking atrocious match this was. It was so fucking awful. It just sucked the life out of the crowd. It was terrible. It was just absolutely terrible for two people who came from the world of mixed martial arts to come to professional wrestling. as a second, as a second physical combat sport for them. The fact that they started out in MMA, should have given them more leeway, or should have been like, okay, this is a no-brainer. They're going to have a good match because this is what they come from. No. It looked like, I don't even know how to describe it. These two women look like they have never had an MMA fight in their life. The way that this match was presented, it was fucking awful. This crowd was just dead throughout this match, and it just made the match even more insufferable. Ronda, it's so obvious that Ronda is leaving. It's so obvious that Ronda does not give a shit anymore. This last run of Ronda Rousey has been fucking horrible. It's been piss poor. It's been downright just ugh. It's just been garbage. This run of Ronda Rousey has been absolutely garbage. I am actually just glad that she's gone. I don't know. I feel like she was not expecting the world of wrestling to be the way it was. She was not expecting the crowd to turn on her when they did all those years ago. And, she was so used to having the adulation of the UFC fans, and that she was the fan favorite for all these years. She always had, a huge fan base, a really positive fan response. I don't think she was prepared for how wrestling fans are. You know what I mean? And apparently she has a very weak self-confidence, because apparently it's affected her. I mean, I may be talking out of turn here, but that's the way I see it. And she presented herself like I don't give a fuck why I'm here. I'm just here for a paycheck. She definitely didn't have any standout matches, any standout moments from this last run. It was very, very blasé. And, I mean, I'm glad that she's gone. Shayna going over was the right decision. I don't know if Ronda thinks that she made Shayna a star with this match. I definitely don't think so. I mean, Shayna did get a good reaction on the Raw after SummerSlam when she said that she defeated Ronda and kicked her out of WWE, and the fans were chanting, "Thank you, Shayna." So, I mean, you could tell the crowd is over it. They know Ronda's heart wasn't in it. And when it's obvious, to the fans that you don't give a shit, they're gonna return that in response to you. You know what I mean? It's obvious to us when you don't care. It's, what I mean? So we're gonna let you know. So that's how I see that. But yeah, that was a very disappointing match. It was very, very disappointing. I was I was definitely not excited for that, for certain. This definitely picked up the pace and brought the crowd back alive, and definitely brought my interest back to the show. Gunther defeated Drew McIntyre to retain the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Drew McIntyre and Gunther had another hard-hitting British strong-style match. It ended with a powerbomb. 1, 2, 3. Gunther still the ring general and still the Intercontinental Champion. Another great title match on the card came after this for the World Heavyweight Championship. 7 years in the making. Even Finn Balor had it written on his shoulder that was ripped from his body at the end of that match, causing him to give up the Universal Championship that he had just won less than 24 hours after the fact. 7 years in the making for the World Heavyweight Championship. Seth freaking Rollins defeated Finn Balor, and I honestly thought that Balor was going to get this match. I honestly thought Balor was going to win the match. There was a couple of spots there that I was like, ooh, counting along. 1, 2, no, oh man. I love the false finishes, man. It just really pulls you in. And then the Judgment Day came out. Dominic, Rhea, and Damian Priest showed up. And then Damian said it looked like Damian Priest was attempting to help Finn Balor with that briefcase, the Money in the Bank briefcase. He placed it in the ring. Balor looking to grab it, to hit Seth with it. The referee's back was turned, and Seth actually took advantage while Balor was bent over to pick up the briefcase. Here comes Rollins. Boom! Curb stomp to the head of Balor onto the briefcase. Briefcase slid out of the ring. 1, 2, 3. Your winner and still World Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins. Seth Rollins retaining the title, still the reigning World Heavyweight Champion. Next match on the card, a triple threat match for the WWE Women's Championship. Definitely the match of the night here, I have to say. Bianca Belair defeated Asuka and Charlotte Flair to win the WWE Women's Championship. The title that she lost to Asuka, that in turn turned into the WWE Women's Championship. It was previously the Raw Women's Championship, converted into the WWE Women's Championship. Bianca Belair looked like she had suffered Bianca Belair, give her an Oscar, give her an Emmy, give her a Tony, give her all the acting accolades, because she put on a show with one of the spots that she did where she got dumped outside of the ring onto her knees, and she was holding her leg. She was working that leg like nobody's business, man. I almost thought it was legit that she was hurt. Her acting was so good. Somehow Bianca got the victory with the KOD on Asuka. 1, 2, 3, pinning Asuka. Asuka's title reign has officially ended, but that wasn't over, because soon after the victory, Bianca could not celebrate very long because Damage Control hit the ring. Bayley, Dakota Kai, yes, the returning Dakota Kai, and the Miz Money in the Bank herself, Io Sky, she cashed in on Bianca, hits that moonsault. 1, 2, 3. Another title change. Bianca Belair now holds the record for the longest reigning Raw Women's Champion and the shortest WWE Women's Championship reign at 45 seconds. Because now your new WWE Women's Champion after the cash-in, Io Sky, is the new reigning WWE Women's Champion. That's right. We had a successful cash-in at SummerSlam. Big crowd reaction. The fans ate it up. They loved it. Damage Control is back in full effect with all 3 members. It looks like Dakota Kai is back and healthy from that knee surgery that she had, which is, wow, I mean, that was pretty quick recovery. Unless she's just back, she was just back for that moment. I don't know how far along she is in her rehab. But yes, Dakota Kai, Bayley celebrated with their girl, Io Sky. Io Sky is now a WWE Women's Champion on the main roster after being a former WWE NXT Women's Champion and former NXT Women's Tag Team Champion and a WWE Women's Tag Team Champion. Io Sky is almost hitting the Grand Slam. She could be a Grand Slam champion one day. She just has to win that WWE Women's World Championship on Raw, and then she would be an official Grand Slam champion. And in the main event, it was time for the Tribal Combat for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship and a recognition of Tribal Chief of the Anoa'i family. Main event, Jey Uso challenged his cousin, the current Tribal Chief, the undisputed, reigning, defending Universal WWE Champion, excuse me, the head of the table, Roman Reigns. And this match was very methodical, very slow-paced at times, but it made sense with the story that was presented. Now, I'm going to get to the bottom of this here. I'm going to spend some time on it, because some fans have been going back and forth about it, about what exactly took place in this match. The match came to an end, which we thought would have been the culmination of a new Tribal Chief and the crowning of a new champion. Jey Uso hitting the splash that has pinned Roman in the past. Just recently pinned him at Money in the Bank. 1, 2... Oh! 2 3/4. Jey is dragged out of the ring by a man in a black hoodie and a bandana covering his mouth and sunglasses. The sunglasses come off, the hoodie comes down, and so does the bandana. And who is it? It's not Solo. It's not any other member of the Anoa'i family. It's Jey's own brother, Jimmy Uso. And Jey looks at Jimmy, what are you doing? And then, boom! Super kick to the face of Jey Uso. Jimmy throws Jey back into the ring. Paul Heyman is stunned. Solo Sikoa is stunned. Roman is stunned. But Roman takes advantage. Spear into a table into the corner of the ring. 1, 2, 3. You're a winner. Still, the WWE Undisputed Universal Champion. And still, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. Roman still on the trajectory of a legendary title run. But now we have seen the decimation and the dissolution of the Usos. The most winning tag team in WWE history. The longest reigning tag team champions in the history of the company. They set the record. And now, Jimmy has turned on his brother. His twin brother. They've been together since the womb, guys. What could come of this? The Bloodline storyline is far from over. But now we're taking another detour. It's like the multiverse, It's just like, there's different branches of the multiverse that keep pinging off of the storyline. And now we've hit another branch of the multiverse. And that is Jimmy Uso turning on Jey Uso. I don't know what's going to come of this, but I'm definitely going to be tuning in to SmackDown this Friday to find out. That's for damn sure. SmackDown is must-see television. It has been for quite some time, and this, after what happened at SummerSlam, is definitely no exception. I've seen a lot of people critiquing what happened. A lot of people are pissed off. I even spoke with... I was even speaking off and on X the night of SummerSlam with one of our IE Sports Radio members, Angela Winstead, about what happened. She was saying she couldn't believe that Jimmy had turned on Jey, and I was just like, that was unexpected for me as well, because out of all the tag teams that have come and gone, out of any tag team that has ever had a breakup, one team in my mind I thought would never ever break up was the Usos. I never thought the Usos would ever break up because they're legit twin brothers. How are you going to break up twin brothers? You know what I mean? How are you going to break up an actual family? I know the Hardy Boys, they broke up before, because they were, but they weren't twins. You know what I mean? It made sense to have them be individuals. I'm not saying that twins aren't individuals. Don't get me wrong, but I just mean like they were so tight with each other. They were so together as a unit. They left Roman together. You know what I mean? Like Jimmy took the bullet for Roman. I mean, for Jey, excuse me, took the bullet for Jey at Night of Champions and kicked Roman in the face, and then Jey followed suit. But now this? I don't know. It's compelling to me, and I'm really looking forward to it. All in all, I give SummerSlam I'd give it a solid A-. It probably would have got an A+ had it not been for that dog shit of an MMA rules match. That match really, really sucked the life out of the crowd and out of my entertainment as well. But yeah, that was the results of SummerSlam, guys. If you haven't had a chance to actually watch the event, I suggest signing up for Peacock and checking it out, as all the entire WWE library and any past and current premium live events are also on there, and any upcoming ones will also be presented on there. And well, guys, we're going to take a quick little break here, and we'll be back with some more wrestling news. Okay, I know usually I do the opposite. I usually go over events before or after I get to the news, but this time I really wanted to start with the SummerSlam recap right out the gate. So we'll be back with some wrestling news here shortly. Stay tuned.
What's going on, football fans? This is me, your boy Larry B, inviting you to join myself, Callum Reynolds, Mike Pat, and John Felipe for one of the most electrifying football shows you have ever heard. 3 and Out, right here at IE Sports Radio. Recap of the week before, a preview of what's to come, and of course, 3 hardcore head-to-head prime-time face-offs each week. You don't want to miss it.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back. If you're just now tuning in, it's your boy, the SoCal Saint, back at it again with another episode of the IE Elite Wrestling Show. I just went over the recap of this past weekend's WWE SummerSlam event, and it was a great show. And I say tune in to SmackDown this Friday because you can see the fallout of the tribal combat between Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, and the sudden betrayal of Jimmy Uso of his brother Jey Uso. So, a lot to look at, a lot to think about in the coming days, and we'll see what goes on here in the following months. The Monday night after SummerSlam on Raw actually presented some great stuff. I know I mentioned earlier LA Knight was on the show, but then we had a main event. It was a 6-man tag team match. Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, and what originally was supposed to be Sami Zayn, but he was taken out by JD McDonough, who is a friend of Finn Balor. So it ended, but Shinsuke Nakamura, who had already wrestled in the night against and defeated Bronson Reed earlier in the match, came to the rescue and apparently volunteered to be the partner of Rollins and Rhodes against their 6-man tag against the Judgment Day, Priest, Balor, and Dominic. And at the end of that match, they were successful thanks to some outside interference from that neutralized the outside interference of Rhea Ripley and the other members of the Judgment Day when they were trying to gang up on Seth with Sami Zayn coming out. Sami is going to be out actually because he has a big fluid sac type of thing on his elbow. So he's going to be out for a couple weeks as that gets drained. It takes like 2 or 3 weeks to heal from that after it's drained. So that sucks. And then, of course, Kevin Owens, his partner, is still out with a rib injury. But anyway, the night ended with them all celebrating, successful in the ring, everybody happy. And then, boom! Kinshasa to the face of Seth Rollins. And then just nonchalantly sliding out of the ring, Shinsuke Nakamura just walking to the back of the arena, not saying a word to Cody Rhodes or Sami Zayn. It looks like Seth Rollins' next challenger for the World Heavyweight title is going to be the King of Strong Style, Shinsuke Nakamura. And I'm actually looking forward to that. I think Rollins and Nakamura can have a really, really awesome match. I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be definitely a different... I don't think I've ever seen them wrestle with each other, to be honest. I can't think of a time I've seen Nakamura and Rollins one-on-one against each other. So this is actually going to be a dream match for me to see. Rollins and Nakamura could have definitely really fantastic matches. So I'm looking forward to that feud. Also on Monday Night Raw, we crowned a new number 1 contender to the Intercontinental Championship. Chad Gable of Alpha Academy. Sheesh! Live in front of his hometown crowd of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and in front of his very own son, who was so damn adorable, was wearing a singlet, knee pads, and shoes just like his daddy. Looked just like his daddy. Defeated Tommaso Ciampa, Matt Riddle, and Ricochet in a fatal 4-way match after hitting Tommaso Ciampa with a rolling German suplex. 1, 2, 3. Chad Gable is the number 1 contender to Gunter's Intercontinental Championship. So we got 2 new feuds there. It looks like Chad Gable being rewarded for his awesome match that he had with Gunther the Monday before SummerSlam, which was last week, which was an awesome match. The crowd absolutely was behind Chad Gable. Chad Gable could possibly be the answer to WWE's prayers in the form of the new Kurt Angle. You know, I feel like WWE has been needing a new Kurt Angle, or has been wanting to figure out if they have a new Kurt Angle under their ranks. I know they tried to present Jack Swagger, who is now Jake Hager in AEW. They tried to present Jack Swagger in the same light back in the day because he was an All-American, a 2-time All-American wrestler, but his nickname was the All-American, whatever, in college. But, I mean, he pretty much... he pretty much shit the bed. He wasn't anything to really sneeze about. So I feel as though Chad Gable definitely has a lot of... he actually was an Olympian. I'm not really sure if Chad won a gold medal or not. I can look that up here. I'm trying to see. Here we go. Did he win an Olympic gold medal? No, he did not. Yeah. Chad Gable did not, unfortunately. He was an Olympic wrestler. He did go to the Olympics, but he did not win an Olympic gold medal. But he did win numerous championships at the NCAA and American level. But he definitely is the answer to their Kurt Angle prayers, I would say. He could definitely be the next Kurt Angle, or the new Kurt Angle, or hell, the first Chad Gable, if you want to look at it that way. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens with Chad Gable here in the near future. Let's see. So, after this past weekend, speaking of Gunther is now officially 1 month away as of 13 hours ago. Gunther is officially 1 month away from breaking the Honky Tonk Man's reign as longest WWE Intercontinental Champion in the company's history. So Gunther now has the second longest reign in the WWE as Intercontinental Champion, and he's just 30 days away, now 29 if you count today, now 29 days away from becoming the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in history. That's congratulations to Gunther. He's been a strong champion. The prestige of that title has been saved exponentially because of Gunther's reign. Definitely, I feel like Gunther has definitely brought the prestige back to that title. That title was always known as the workman's title. You know, the wrestlers that put on the best work have the best matches. And Gunther definitely lives up to that hype as Intercontinental Champion. Some Impact Wrestling news. Impact has announced that the Beautiful People, Angelina Love and Velvet Sky, as well as former Knockouts champion Awesome Kong, will be a part of Impact 1000. Impact will tape its 1000th episode on September 9th in White Plains, New York. The episode will air on September 14th. That is crazy. Impact Wrestling, the company that has held on for so long, that has been close to death so many times, is still alive, still kicking, still doing great things, actually. And they're going to be having their 1000th episode on September 14th. Let's see. Here we go, guys. It was announced. Where did it go? I had an article about the merger. Oh, wow. All right, well, here's some interesting news. Former NWA champion and just recently was an Impact Wrestling star, Nick Aldis, who is also the husband, for many fans who don't know, the husband of WWE legend Mickie James. He was actually in Minneapolis this past Monday for Raw. WWE is bringing him in on a short-term deal to see how it works out. He's being brought in to be a potential producer. So he'll be working at a number of upcoming TV tapings. I know a lot of fans were expecting him to sign on to the WWE as a competitor, because I feel he's very young still and could still present a great deal for WWE as a wrestler. He's only 36. He's my age, and he's still a great wrestler. I mean, his career is still in its prime, I would say. So I don't understand why that they would bring him in as only a producer, which seems like a little bit of You know, it seems a little bit I don't know. It just seems really odd to just bring him in as only a producer. But maybe it could be what he wanted. You know, I mean, maybe it can give his body some time to heal, because he definitely carried the NWA on his back for God knows how long. You know, with the 10 pounds of gold, running all over the world, and then they did him dirty, you know, in their contract renegotiations, and now he's, you know. Now he is where he is now, trying to find a career outside of NWA. If you're a fan and follow her on Twitter, Izzy Moreno. For those fans who don't know, Izzy Moreno was the super fan of Bayley back in Bayley's NXT days. She was the little girl that Sasha Banks made cry when she grabbed her sign and like ripped it in half in front of her. She was that little girl that she made cry at the NXT a takeover event. The little girl used to put her hair in a ponytail just like Bayley did. She was the Bayley superfan. So she's actually been coming up on social media. She does a lot of interviews with wrestlers. She goes to different wrestling conventions, different wrestling shows. And apparently she will be, now, she's been training to be a professional wrestler. And she will be making her professional wrestling debut. This is coming up actually this week. This weekend, as a matter of fact. She'll be making her pro wrestling debut here in Central Texas at Mission Pro Wrestling Boiling Point. Mission Pro Wrestling is an all-women's wrestling company here in Texas. It focuses out of Central Texas, like the Austin area. And they will be she'll be making her wrestling debut this Saturday, August 12th. Mission Pro Wrestling, I believe, is the company that was first started by AEW wrestler Thunder Rosa. And you can get tickets now at missionprowrestling.com, or you can stream it live on titlematchnetwork.com. And a bit of a downer news. I hate to end on a downer note, but I just have to, I just wanted to touch base on this. Big E has revealed during this past weekend's events for SummerSlam. Big E, the former WWE champion, member of the New Day, Big E has revealed that some doctors have suggested that he may never wrestle again. He says he's had talks with the WWE over interest in doing some color commentary. He's happy to have no nerve damage, is taking his time and making the best decision to live a long and healthy life. Of course, Big E suffered a terrible neck injury that could have definitely caused quadriplegia had it not been for, I would say, his strong neck. I mean, because he landed on the top of his head from a belly-to-belly suplex from Ridge Holland on the outside of the ring. And Big E did not require surgery. He did break his neck, but it did not require surgery. He's been out for over 2 years now. And that really sucks to hear that Big E's career has basically come to an end. But he's got to do the best for himself and his health and his longevity in life. And I feel like he's doing the right thing, thinking of alternatives, because he still wants to be a part of this business and not so much in the ring, but he still wants to contribute to the business. So sad to hear, but just I want to send well wishes from the IE Sports Radio family and here at IE Elite Wrestling to Big E. Whatever you decide, Big E, I'm all for you, man. I'm right there with you. I was a big fan of yours. I definitely think you're one of the great young talents that have come in the WWE in such a very short amount of time. You're definitely one of a very few African American WWE champions, and for that, being half black myself, I take great pride in that. Just like Eddie Guerrero was the first Mexican American and the only Mexican American. Well, no, not the only. The first Mexican American WWE champion, next to Rey Mysterio, who later won the title years after Eddie. Both representing the two races that I belong to, black and Mexican. For Big E to his career to be over, it just really sucks. But it's understandable, That was a very, very horrible spot, but hopefully he will have a speedy recovery, and maybe, who knows, down the line. I mean, everybody thought that Edge's career was over and never going to come back, and look at Edge. Same with Daniel Bryan, and now it's Saraya, a.k.a. Paige. So you never know what the future holds. You never know. We're going to take another little break, guys, and then we're going to discuss the upcoming All In pay-per-view in London for AEW. Stay tuned, guys.
What's good, everyone? It's Drewski, the host of Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. On this station, we cover everything in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. From where we cover the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Stars, Dallas Mavericks, Dallas Wings, Texas Rangers, TCU, SMU, we cover it all right here every Wednesdays from 9 to 10 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you stay live with me on the Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back to the IE Sports Radio's premier professional wrestling podcast, the IE Elite Wrestling Show, your direct feed for all that is professional wrestling on the only network that is your direct feed for all that is sports, IE Sports Radio. So I know this is toward the end of the show. We're about to close it up here for the day. I thank you all for tuning in live. If you're listening live, I do appreciate it. Just throw me a like, subscribe, anything that you can show some love. I do appreciate it. Please go to IESportsRadio.com and show some love to the other shows. Read some of our blog postings. Join up, make an account, and you can actually interact with us as well. Check out our shop if you want to buy some merch, throw some shekels our way, show your appreciation. We all would truly, truly appreciate it. And again, also show some love to our sponsor, which is Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. This jerky is out of its world. Ooh, yeah! But I just wanted to get in one little thing before I say goodbye to everyone today. Just coming up at the end of this month is the big event for AEW, All Elite Wrestling's All In London at Wembley Stadium. It is the second All In event in the history of, I guess, AEW technically, because the first All In was an independently run event by the founders of AEW, the Young Bucks, and Cody Rhodes. This is going to be the first AEW event inside of a stadium. It's going to be taking place in London at Wembley Stadium. Apparently, they've already had over 60,000 tickets already sold. It has definitely been one of the largest events in the company's history already selling-wise. And they have the tagline of the biggest event in wrestling history, which I feel is a little, but whatever. Only one match has officially been announced for this event as of this past Wednesday on Dynamite. It will be for the AEW World Championship. MJF, he's better than you and you know it, defends the World Heavyweight title against Adam Cole, baby! Other matches that have already been teased but not made official have been FTR calling out the Young Bucks for an AEW World Tag Team title match at All In, as well as Samoa Joe the Ring of Honor World Television Champion calling out the real World's Champion, CM Punk, for a match at All In. So, the only way to watch this, guys, is going to be live on pay-per-view and on streaming for the mere price of $50. That's going to be on the Fight TV app. That's FITE, Fight TV app, as well as all your pay-per-view providers to purchase that pay-per-view. It's going to be live Sunday, August 27th from London, Wembley Stadium. With that, guys, it is your boy, the SoCal Saint. I'm going to be saying goodbye, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day as well as your week. Take care, and I will see you guys back on our regularly scheduled day, Tuesday. Same SoCal Saint time, same SoCal Saint channel. Peace out, everyone. Take care.